linger between the words to say the words to remember. Now we're here to take control.
Hello, hello, hello for the final series of BTL Week 5. I am joined today by Vimstat, and we have Elysium Terra versus FFC about to duke it out on the Rift. How are you doing, Vimstat?
I'm doing good. I'm excited to see this game. It's gonna be interesting.
All right, I gotta turn down the music a little bit here. Give me a second. There we go. All right, well, ET starting off strong with the Jarvan ban, a pretty good jungler in general. It's very good, especially on like weaker side teams, just because he has so much capabilities in the game. And FFC is going to match that jungle ban with a Graves ban and a Vayne ban, kind of out there. I don't think Xerathai is known for playing Vayne. Do you know that?
I don't think so. I've seen him play a lot of Ziggs and Seraphine. I know, so maybe a little bit of disrespect from ET.
Yeah, that is a very interesting ban here, but we are going through the ban phase to give an overview of the teams that are, or the players that are being played. On the side of Elysium Terra, we have OP Ivy in the top, Very Little Feet in the jungle. Zoe, I forgot how they told me to pronounce it. I apologize. Is in the mid lane. Siggy and Alley Oops in the bot lane. On the side of FFZ, we have Just Relish in the top. I believe, once I get an order, I think it's Coach Ray in the jungle, if I'm not mistaken. Or is he the mid laner?
I think Coach Ray is a jungler.
All right, anyways, we have Just Relish in the top. I think that's a Coach Ray in the jungle. Mad, or Next Winter in the mid, and then it's going to be Xerathai and Mad Chef in the bottom lane. But first pick for Elysium Terra is going to be that Talia. Can be Flex in the jungle or in the mid lane. And we've seen Nukes, the like pioneer of the Talia jungle this season, and it has been showing some great success. However, Nukes isn't the jungler anymore for some reason. But here we are.
Yeah, Talia jungle it's such a good flex pick. I think flex picks are really good in the current meta, so it's really cool to see. Oh, and we have a Senna. I wonder if we're gonna see a Senna Tom Kench come through, or Senna Cho'Gath maybe.
Yeah, we do have the Senna locked in for the response, and the Orianna, someone who is pretty Zooey. Okay, Zooey. Okay, that's how you say his name, by the way. But
Zooey, okay.
but yeah, back to the Orianna pick. A pretty solid mid pick there. It's very reliable, very safe, and can do a lot in the team fights. However, the Jarvan was taken off the table, which is one of Orianna's main forms of combinations when it comes to the jungle mid synergy. So what do you think that they're going to pair it with?
I would like to see something like a Maokai in the jungle.
Okay.
Perhaps. I think that would be a pretty good pickup here, just because it has a lot of catch-up potential, and if you put the Orianna ball on Maokai, it's like a guaranteed Ori ult.
Yeah.
So.
Similar to the Jarvan matchup that we see as well. But Elysium Terra going to lock in the Renekton and the LeBlanc. So far, Elysium Terra's comp is all about the skill matchup. They're here to win lane. They're here to dominate, and they're looking to use those lane victories to push them ahead. We are going to see that Tom Kinch Senna bot lane, so we're going to have a fasting Senna here. It's gotten better, but it still feels like it lacks in some aspects. If the Tom Kinch gets punished too hard, it can definitely struggle. So we're going to have to see what Elysium Terra can do to pull out and try to counter this lane.
Yeah, and I like what ET did here. They're holding their bot picks just so that their solo laners don't get banned out, and because they know what they're playing against, so they can counter pick here in the second rotation.
Yeah, and it's not even that bad to first pick or blind pick that Renekton. It has been a super blind pickable top laner, especially in Worlds. So you already know your mid matchup, and you're confident enough in the Renekton on OP Ivy to deal with Mad Chef's top lane and just kind of dominate.
Yep.
We are going to see Emilio Lulu ban. I don't necessarily think that those are the problem childrens for the Senna Tom Kinch lane, but maybe they have some secret tech. Zerathai's known for playing kind of the outliers in the bot lane, like the Ziggs, like the Karthus, like the Seraphine, that you don't really see a lot of people play. So they might have some, they might know a little bit more about the matchup than I do or you do.
Right.
Whereas Elysium Terra hard focused on the jungle and top, which makes sense.
Ooh, Casante.
Casante. What an AIDS champion. I literally just got done playing a game with him on him. I did lose, but holy moly was I just dominating everybody. But they're going to switch back to the Malphite. So another, I mean, that's their tool for the Orianna, if you think about it. That is a Malphite Orianna combo. It's going to be super hard to avoid that. And FFZ, despite being the underdogs in this series, they are playing a team comp that is super easy to pull off right now. You have the Orianna, you have the Malphite to start your fights to get some big damage. You have the Senna TK for the safety. So it's going to be up to Elysium Terra to see what they can do to hopefully try to break this apart, because right now it's all about the lane.
Right. They are lacking a little bit on damage, so hopefully a more damage heavy jungler here.
Yeah, we went with the Sivir Bard on Elysium Terra. Not my favorite thing in the world. And Sivir is going to struggle against Senna, I think. That the range disparity there is quite massive.
Right.
But we do have a Nocturne Hover. He does have some of that damage, especially if he goes that lethality build that you've been known to try. And that is going to be locked in, and it's another way to deliver the Orianna ball if he doesn't go too far, which he does run the risk of doing that just because of how long the paranoia is.
Right.
But these are going to be the comps for game number 1. What do you like about each side, and who do you think has the edge?
I actually like what ET did with their bot lane here. They're going to be playing to get Prio and get this Bard running around the map and helping the Taliyah get some pressure on the map. Because Taliyah's a pretty heavy farming jungler, and she's pretty weak in the early game. So I think it's really smart for them to look to get Prio in all their lanes so that Taliyah can free farm and scale. And they can get a lot of pressure on these early objectives and scale into the late game. So I like what they drafted for. It is a little scary because Senna is also a scaling monster, but I do think that ET outscales in the end.
See, so. I am on the opposite side of the fence. I like the Bard. I do like the Bard mixed in there with the Taliyah, and the LeBlanc has great roaming potential. So their early game is definitely a lot better than FFZ, I think. But you're going to run into the problem of if Bard's roaming too much, Sivir cannot stop Senna TK from diving her. She has a spell shield, but the center range and the Senna slows on top of the slows that Tom Kinch can do, that is a lot of stuff to deal with on an AD carry that's 500 range. Yes, she has some wave clear, but the wave clear doesn't matter if you can't even step up to the wave. And then you have the Orianna Senna scaling. Those two champions are monsters in the late game, whereas ET really only has a Sivir. Taliyah, yes, but I feel like Taliyah scaling, I don't know, maybe I'm wrong, but I feel like jungle Taliyah and mid Taliyah, in terms of how they scale, are very different. So we'll just have to see exactly what pulls off. But I honestly want to give the edge here to FFZ. It's that conundrum where if you take the names off the players, I think the FFZ comp is a lot better. It's a lot more structured, a lot more simple to pull off. But putting the names on, I do know Elysium Terra's players are really good, and overall, they've shown that they're pretty good. FFZ, I don't think they've won a series yet. So obviously, when you're putting the top team against the bottom team, there is going to be a little bit of skill disparity.
Right. Yeah, I do think FFZ did pick a good comp. It's pretty easy to execute, other than the Tom Kench Senna. So I think that they have the edge there as far as ease of execution as well.
Okay. All right, so we are on a similar page. how does Talia? I mean, you're the jungle expert here. How does Talia into Nocturne feel, by the way? Because they locked in the Talia early, so the Nocturne picked into the Talia. But who's really coming out on top when it comes to those early fights, those early objective controls?
I think that it's kind of an awkward matchup because both of them want to scale, and Nocturne wants to get 6 as soon as he can. But I do think that Nocturne has the edge. If he can get into Lee's jungle and look to take away some of those camps and maybe get a solo kill on the Talia, it would be good. But it's going to be really hard for him to do that because he's only got one lane that should have prio, and that's the Orianna. I don't think that Senna and Tom Kench are going to get prio, and I don't think that Malphite's going to be able to get prio. So it's going to be a pretty hard matchup. So in this specific game, I give Talia the edge just because she's going to have those priority lanes, and she scales a lot better than Nocturne.
Yeah.
So,
all right. Well, we are loading onto the Rift for game number 1 between Elysium Terra and FFZ. So we'll be back in approximately 3 minutes and get ready for the matchup of Zerathai's prophecy. Let's see if it comes true. And if it before I go to break, for those who don't know, Zerathai had the prolific envision that his team will 2-1 ET this week. So we're gonna have to see if it comes true. Don't go anywhere. right, we are loaded into the Rift for game number 1 between FFZ and Elysium Terra. Vimstad, are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right, 3, 2, 1, 11, 12, 13.
Yep.
All right. Here we go. It looks like we're going to have a standard 5-point Renekton. Yeah, it's going to be a standard 5-point from both sides. So nothing too crazy is going to be happening in this early game, which makes sense. You have some scaling options for both sides. So they're not really trying to break open the game quite yet. Very Little Feet has no item.
Oh, that would make sense why he set the ward down so early then.
And we are saying...
Okay.
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, sorry. Something I think is going to be really cool is I hope to see Coach Ray maybe start Raptors. If you do Raptors into Krugs into red buff without smiting any of them, and then you back, you can get a Doran's Blade because you get extra gold on the red buff if you don't use your first smite, I think. So he can get a Doran's Blade on his first back, which can be really big for getting an early advantage and surprising the enemy on the crab fight.
Interesting. Interesting. I do know that you are a connoisseur of the Doran resets for the junglers. But on that note, we have Zui going longsword start, so we are going to see a static Shiv LeBlanc this game, something that has been nerfed quite heavily, and sadly, Coach Ray is not doing the Raptor start. He's doing a red buff start as well, so we're not going to see any fancy little backs before the crab fights or anything.
Yep. And it's actually not bad because they're pathing to opposite sides, so it'd be pretty inefficient to go back and get Doran's Blade in this specific game.
But already we see Next Winter trying to use his range superiority with the orb, but it still allows LeBlanc to get that level 2 advantage before she does. So otherwise, I feel like the early game is going to be relatively boring until we get to that level 6 mark for the Very Little Feet for Nocturne on for Coach Ray. So it's going to be definitely a slower paced game. And the only real action we're probably going to see is through Renekton trying to put his dominance in that top lane, and potentially Zui looking for some flashy plays on that LeBlanc.
Yeah, OP Ivy has been a really strong player, so I wouldn't be surprised if we see quite the bloodbath early up in the top lane.
Yeah. Ooh, Next Winter taking a little bit of a rough trade there.
So I'm wondering if we're going to see an early gank here after these full clears. I think that they could dive top, perhaps. The wave is crashing into the Malphite.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of potential in that top lane, just because Renekton can really do whatever he wants with the wave. He can freeze it, he can shove it, he can keep it in the middle. It really depends on what he's trying to do for his team. But based off how we're pathing right now, and kind of like the state of the bot lane, FFZ could get some early priority on this dragon, especially with the Talia being top side. It spawns at a minute 20, and if Talia looks for some heavy ganks on the top side for their Renekton or for their LeBlanc, it can open up the potential for FFZ to start dragon stacking early.
Yeah, I'm a little surprised to see the Senatom Kench getting the priority here.
That was some rough trading, but yeah, the Senna TK, I'm not surprised. That Sivir, yeah, does have a lot of wave shove, but her damage on the boomerangs and stuff isn't exactly super high. She has to wait for the waves to start bouncing back and forth, which is what she's done here, and that's why they have such a large wave right now. But the range that Senna gets, it makes it really hard for Sivir to step up when they don't have this massive wave that's just shoving them into their own tower.
Yeah.
Oh, and
Talia's been in this bush.
Flash forward by Talia, but the first blood gets picked up by the Orianna, and it's going to be a potential trade kill there, while Mad Chef is just absolutely whopping OP Ivy right here. And this should be a kill for Mad Chef, and Next Winter is going to die to Very Little Feet as well. Oh, but Mad Chef got greedy. He does get the kill at least. Oh.
That was a really heads-up play from Next Winter there. He didn't panic flash away or anything. He went straight for that kill. That was really clean.
Yeah, we didn't see it on the camera because the camera was a little bit too zoomed in, but Very Little Feet flashed in right behind Next Winter, and Next Winter is like, okay, well, I can't get away from this, so I'm going to flash forward and just make sure I get the kill in response.
Yep. It feels kind of bad for the top lane here. His wave's in a really bad spot, so even though he got the kill there, he's down 13 CS. And now the wave
is... Bard tunnel here in the mid lane. Sorry to cut you off, but Zooey is looking for some fancy stuff. He gets the chain, but misses the Bard route. And this is what Alley-oop is known for. He has been roaming a lot. He's a roaming monster. Coach Ray's trying to save it, but he's not going to be able to get there in time.
Yeah, that's an awesome roam, because we know that the Orianna doesn't have the flash. Really good play from the Bard.
Oh, and OP Ivy, he is starting the, what, I always forget the name of this. Proxy. Something
yeah, this is going to feel really bad for the Malphite.
Yeah, it's going to be pretty tough here, especially if Talia looks to abuse. But Renekton proxied one wave and is going for the reset while he can. He knows he has the time. And now we have FFC putting pings down on the dragon. So I believe Nocturne has started this up on his own. Yes, he has.
Yeah.
Sorry. But Alley-oop
I don't
spot this out.
Yeah, this is kind of a weird start because we don't have priority in the mid lane or the bot lane for the side of FFC.
Yeah,
so it's really good that they
Coach
backed up
Ray
here.
overstepping here. He's going to have to flash this wall potentially. The Abyssal Dive goes forward, knocks up the Bard while Zerathai is free firing over the wall. No one can get over to him, but Very Little Feet is going to ult in, force Just Relish's flash, and now Next Winter is here. He got Zooey super low. And honestly, not a bad turnout there for FFC. It looked a little rough in the beginning, but they were able to turn it around.
Yeah, and they still have the shockwave, so they're not going to start the dragon.
Yeah, I think Coach Ray's a little nervous because he's super low, and I don't know how fast they can realistically do the dragon with Zerathai being their main form of DPS. Senna, not known for objective taking. It's definitely more of the artillery AD carry, and typically artillery ADCs struggle in that department. But
I think
OP Ivy could be in trouble here. Coach Ray is here. He doesn't have the ulti, but he does get the fear locked onto OP Ivy. But OP Ivy's going to get some massive damage off. It's going to push Coach Ray away. And now Matchef could be in danger. I think this could be a potential dive. Dashboard goes in, but Matchef does unstoppable force, and that's going to get him out alive. Next Winter is looking for the chase. Is he going to be fast enough with his or the dissonance? Doesn't look like it. Oh, the Orianna ulti comes through though, and it does manage to nick him, but it's not enough to complete the kill.
we do see Zerathai coming up here and getting some orbs from these camps, and maybe they're looking to get some Rift Herald priority here, while ET is just doing the dragon, so...
Yeah, and it's going to be good. And now Just Relish is in danger. The Abyssal Dive goes forward to try to get away, but their team is here to stop it. Can he get away? He does pop the shield. The knockup comes back. He gets stunned, and this should be Just Relish dying. Another shield gets procced. He's going to live with like 100 HP. Those shields coming in massive.
I swear that champion is unkillable. He just like, you can't kill him, I swear. He's got Guardian, he's got his W shield 3 times in a fight. It's crazy. And they did get the Rift Herald. I actually really like that the FFC got the Rift Herald trade there. They really need to get some gold in their pockets to stop the side of ET from snowballing this game.
Yeah, the Paranoia gets dropped onto the Renekton. He's not afraid to fight this time. The Fear gets put down, and now Renekton is on the run. But I don't think he's going to be able to get away, and that's going to be a kill picked up from Mad Chef. That is super important.
His dominance was not up yet.
Yeah, typically you're not really playing for the Nocturne lanes, or for the Malphite lanes, but in this matchup, just getting any kill onto Coach Ray to ensure that he can get that Ultimate Hunter stack starting to roll is very important.
Yeah, and he's going the Frozen Gauntlet build, or the Iceborne Gauntlet build, which will be pretty oppressive for this Renekton.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot, or it's going to be pretty difficult once he does get that Iceborne Gauntlet. It reduces, I think, like 10% of the damage from your primary target. But now we have a fight happening to the bot side. Very Little Feet does get the wall put down behind it, and that's going to be Ali Oops dying. And now Zerathai has to flash away. Can they get out of this? But he does die to Zui, and Just Relish could be in danger, but he has the shields, he has the movement, but the chain does connect, and that's going to be Siggy picking up a kill for himself.
Yeah, that's really big for ET. They really need to start snowballing this game early before that timer hits with the Ori and Senna.
Yeah, the Senna already at, I believe, 40 souls, so she's gotten an additional 40 auto attack range and 20% crit, and she doesn't stop scaling. She keeps going. You're going to have to close this game fast, or she's going to become a super big problem.
Yeah.
But we now have Mad Chef fighting OP Ivy. Mad Chef doesn't care anymore, but Ali Oops is here to try to redeem the play. Can Mad Chef get away? He does have his Unstoppable Force. He's going to pop it to make sure that he survives. But Ali Oops all over the map once again. This guy, his Landos play last series, or last week, immaculate with how much roams he was doing.
Yeah, and he's allowed to roam because Sivir can clear these waves on her own perfectly fine. And I don't think they have much of a dive threat, just because they don't have the damage yet.
Yeah, definitely not yet. There will be a point where it will become a dive threat, but Ali Oops knows when that's going to happen, so he's trying to make the most out of it right now. That Herald is only going to result in one plate, though, so not the greatest value you can see. Siggy could be in trouble. Siggy has to pop the flash to make sure he doesn't get hit by the Abyssal Dive. And that's going to be a flash, or a summoner trade, or not even a summoner trade, just a summoner advantage there for FFC. Oh, Nocturne could be in danger. She pops the Paranoia onto Sivir. Sivir drops the ulti to make sure that she can run away. The movement speed is so fast. And now Just Relish could be in danger. He took a little bit too far of a step up. He has to drop his flash as well. But there's a lot of action happening. I was expecting this game to be a little bit slower. And, you know, here we are. But now Next Winter starting his own fight. And, ooh, Zui dodges the command Shockwave. And now Next Winter could be in danger. So he's just waiting for the cooldown, W's forward, and flashes the orb, and this should be a kill picked up for Zui. Nice 1v1.
Yeah, that was a good solo kill. I guess it wasn't a solo kill because
the
Bar W.
But, I mean, if there's one thing to look forward to for FFC is Mad Chef no longer struggling in this lane. He is just going to start mollywopping this Renekton, and there's not much Renekton can do against this. Renekton's going to jump forward and try to get the stun out. He did get the level up, but still, it's not a lot of damage.
Yeah, he doesn't have the dominance yet, but he does get it here in a second. I wonder if he's going to look for a trade. Mad Chef is
Yeah, so Mad Chef's going to reset here. Good call there, because if he walked up and OP Ivy was in that bush, which he was, it would have been disastrous.
Yep. And it looks like we have the Leandry's build coming out of the Talia jungle. I actually really like that because they've got very tanky members on their team. So.
Is there another build that she normally does in the jungle?
I like to go Luden's Echo when I play Talia if I'm playing against a squishier team, because the Luden's Echo, the magic pen, the stats on that are just
sorry, the Bardolt gets dropped onto Just Relish. Also but doesn't get the stun, and the chain misses. So Just Relish should be able to walk out of here if he plays it right. A flash forward by Ali Oops, and that's going to be Sivir picking up the kill just barely. The Senna ulti not coming in quite fast enough.
Yeah, the Kraken Slayer pickup is just so big against this Tahm Kench lane. It's already done 425 damage. It's super huge.
FFC not going to contest this. So it's going to be the second dragon of the game going over to Elysium Terra, and it is an Ocean Soul, and that's going to be pretty good here, especially with the amount of poke that FFC has through the Senna and Orianna. Once they start picking up some items, that Ocean Soul is going to become very useful.
Yep. ET's got a massive lead in almost all of their lanes, and the Renekton is actually only down 100 gold despite all the attention that was put up there early game. So FFZ is struggling pretty hard in all lanes.
Yeah, next winter down 2 levels on Zui. Very little feet. is up about 300 golds. Also, Sivir up over 1,000 gold. So it's gonna be a little rough for them, especially until they can start getting some souls and items onto their Senna and Orianna.
Yep. And once they get this Rift Herald, they can start breaking some of these tier 1 towers and get control over the dragon pit so that they can really attack those
Zooey
dragons.
looking for a great trade onto next winter. Next winter just cannot keep up with the static Shiv LeBlanc builds. I thought they got rid of this. Why is it still in the game? And that's going to be a solo kill for Zooey. Oh, God.
He's playing it really well. He's done 1,000 damage with static Shiv to champions.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
That is disgusting. And that's going to be the first tower of the game going over to OP Ivy. OP Ivy has to pop the Dominus to make sure he doesn't die. And now he's going to chase Mad Chef. Mad Chef is He does not have enough mana for Unstoppable Force, but he's just going to walk away with the Q.
Yeah, and here's
that
play.
Yeah, we have a fight going down into the mid lane. Just Relish Abyssal dive forward a little bit too aggressive. The Herald destroyed the tower, and that's going to be a kill picked up for the Bard. And now Furry Little Feet and Zooey looking to get as much damage as they can. Furry Little Feet flash forward and knock back Coach Ray, and Coach Ray's going to be dropped down to 1 HP. Does the burn get him? It's ticking. The heal gets popped, and that's going to be Coach Ray saved by Zerathai.
Yeah, it's such a big play, especially getting that Nocturne flash out right before this dragon. Yeah, so I think ET is going to be looking to get this bot tower as soon as they can, and as soon as they do, they can really set up vision around this dragon and look to control the game through getting Dragon Soul.
Ooh, Very Little Feet could be in danger. The Paranoia was popped, but Nocturne isn't in range. Orianna's going to pop the Shockwave to try to get a solo kill here, but Sivir's going to flash over, so that's going to be the kill picked up by Zerathai. A pretty good member to have it on, but Siggy is going to get the trade in response, and now Zerathai is in danger. Zooey does so much damage. Just Relish went in, he devoured the Bard, and they're going to try to get a pickup kill here, but Bard has the tunnel. He's going to go away, and that is going to be Zooey trying to get as much damage as he can in. This LeBlanc static shiv damage is insane. The chain does connect. It does root up Just Relish, and this could be Just Relish in danger. The stun by Alley Oops also connects. That's going to be Just Relish popping the flash. The Ignite went down, and the shield goes up, but is it going to be enough? Just Relish gets out alive, but he has to be careful here. Zooey could W in and just auto-attack him. And that's what we're going to see. Zooey picking up the kill. So much greed there. And while that was happening, a solo kill in the top lane by OP Ivy on the Malphite.
This static shiv has done 2,100 damage already. I thought they nerfed this. This
they
doesn't
did.
look nerfed to me. This does not look nerfed.
It is disgusting.
This is crazy. Just to put it into perspective, the Talia's Leandri's has only done 585 damage to champions. And she's had it longer than the static shiv.
Yeah.
That's just crazy.
Definitely not where FFC wants to be. They're already down 6,000 golds. I mean, they're down 2 dragons, probably about to be down a third. I don't think they're at the point where they can team fight yet. They have to buy time for the Orianna and Senna. And ET is not giving them that time.
Right. Yeah, and it is going to be an Ocean Soul, which will be really good for keeping the carries alive. In our game yesterday against LRE, the Ocean Soul actually saved us in a couple fights. Ocean Soul is such a strong soul to have.
Yeah, 100% agree there. We are going to have, again, another 1v1 little scuffle in the top side. OP Ivy is going to try to put his dominance onto Mad Chef, but he's not really liking these trades. If Malphite has mana, Renekton struggles.
Yep.
Now FFC, all 5 of the members on the top side with dragon spawning, so they are going to give up the dragon over to Elysium Terra and put them to Soul Point. And honestly, it's a little bit of a rough start because that means in 5 minutes, at 25 minutes, you're going to have to fight this team at this dragon. And I don't know if your team is going to be ready for that. They will pick up a dragon. The Paranoia gets dropped onto the Renekton, but and followed up by the Malphite ultimate, and that's going to be OP Ivy dying, but the heals are insane. The shielding from Alley Oops, and that's going to be an Abyssal dive forward by Just Relish. Just Relish does pick up the kill with the Malphite, and now Alley Oops could be in danger. But that's going to be a tower and a kill for Dragon.
I really like what Zerathai did here. They got that objective bounty on the top lane, and they got a pick. That was a really good play. But they are gonna lose a tier 2 mid and a tier 2 bot. So it was a good play, but they might have stayed a little bit too long because they're giving up 1,000 gold in these.
I mean, at the end of the day, you got to pick up the gold where you can when you're this far behind.
Yep.
So, like, it's not ideal. It's not a favorable trade, but getting gold on anyone on your team, even if it means losing gold on the other side of the map, is important.
Yep. And that will open up the top side for them to maybe establish some sort of vision control around this Baron so that they can't just sneak it. I don't think they can really fight the Baron, but they could definitely look for steal. Malphite and Nocturne could be really strong at stealing this Baron.
Yeah, so we do have a soul check onto Senna. Senna's up to 75. Those autos are hurting. Like, look at Siggy's health. Brought down to half HP, and he just couldn't even respond with an auto attack because of the range disparity.
Yeah.
But now, Fairy Little Feet looking onto next winter. The knockback does connect. Just Relish has the Devour, but he doesn't pop it. Oh, no, he doesn't. I lied. He did not have Devour. Now Mad Chef's trying to turn this play around with his Unstoppable Force onto alley-oops, but it's not going to be enough. OP Ivy picks up another kill, and now Zerathai and Mad Chef on the run. Fairy Little Feet looking for more. The root does connect, and that's going to ensure that his team can get out. Zerathai has to be careful here, though. OP Ivy's looking. He's hunting. If he gets a dash through somebody, he could get there. Paranoia gets dropped onto OP Ivy. OP Ivy could be in danger. He does double dash away, and that is going to be a root there. But Zerathai is so far away from the fight, and Nocturne just died.
They're all so low.
Yeah, and during this whole entire fight, Zooey split pushing the bot lane, got the tower, and is looking for more. Now Mad Chef and Just Relish are looking on him, but I don't think you guys can really fight him. I don't think anyone can fight this LeBlanc at this point.
Zooey is such a monster.
Mad Chef, you're greeting. Mad Chef, what are you doing? That's going to be Mad Chef died, and he wasted the flash. No. Now next winter chasing OP Ivy. They're trying to get something for somebody. Zerathai picks up a kill, but they get cut off by the Talia wall, and now Zooey's in position to kill. He's looking for more. He is chasing forward. Just Relish is here, though, with his Devourer up. And the root doesn't connect. Zooey going forward. Oh my god, the damage, but the Abyssal Dive does connect. Now Zooey's in danger. The Shockwave goes out. That's 1,000 gold for next winter.
Wow, that is exactly what FFZ needed.
Yeah.
That is exactly what they needed. That is going to be a big difference for this dragon fight coming up in a minute.
It's especially with the dragon spawning so soon, making sure that they get that gold onto a primary carry there. It's their only hope. They have to fight now, and making sure they get the maximum amount of gold that they can possibly get is super important.
Yep.
There.
Yeah, it's definitely not doomed for them. They have really good wave clear, and they just got a lot of gold on Senna and Ori. So it's going to be a little rough because they do have to contest this dragon.
I mean, look, if you got to contest anything, this is the time. Your team was built for these team fights. Like, but Coach Ray is now going to get caught out. He should just let himself die, to be honest. He has time to respawn and get back to the fight. Now Just Relish is going to use the Bard portal to get out, but the Bard drops the Fate. What is that called? Fate's Call? Tempered Fate. Ah. But, I mean, Nocturne will be up in time. He has the Paranoia, but the Baron has been called here for ET. The TP in by OP Ivy. Mad Chef is in position for a flank. I don't think they know he's here. And if Orianna can get over here, this could be quite a nasty fight for them. Just Relish is not going to be here, though. So it's going to be a 3v5 attempted steal if they try to contest, but it doesn't look like they will. They're just going to push up the mid lane. Mad Chef reveals himself. And now Zooey's going to jump forward, try to get in some damage on this Malphite, but he's so tanky. The Baron is at 2,000 HP right now. This should be the Baron completed here by ET, and they do. And then you have Mad Chef ulting Zooey solo, and I don't know why you would waste that. The dragon is about to spawn. You guys got to fight for this. And now here comes the Talia wall to cut off the enemy team, keep them on that top side. And
FFC could definitely win this fight.
Oh, Paranoia dropped, and Talia has to pop the Hourglass to stay alive from the Orianna, but it's going to be dangerous. That's going to be a shutdown picked up by Coach Ray, and this is going to give them the opportunity to make sure that they don't get the soul. OP Ivy has to walk away. He's so low on health right now. But Zooey is here. Zooey is looking for the flank. He's trying to get some damage in for his team. The chain does connect, but it doesn't complete. And that is going to be a 1-for-1 trade, and it's going to be a 4v4 right before this dragon.
Yep. Yeah, there's no cooldowns on the side of FFZ as far as ultimates go, so I don't think they're gonna look to contest this. They might just look for a steal. And that's what looks like. That's what they're doing.
Oh, OPI.
Okay, they are moving.
Yeah, the dragon has been started up. Coach Ray is sitting right in the bush. He's going to walk right onto Siggy. Siggy is in trouble. Siggy might just die. Siggy has to flash away and pop the ultimate. Coach Ray flashes after it, trying to get the trade kill. He does get it, and now he's low, and that it means. But while that was happening, the fight in the top, or the mid, was going down, and Zooey picked up a kill, and he's might pick up another one on Zerathai. That's going to be a double for Zooey, and that could be a potential game-ending push. They have the Baron. Mad Chef gets caught out by alley-oops and furry little feet, while Zooey has the flank onto Coach Ray. Coach Ray is low. He does flash forward to hit the chain. That's going to be a kill picked up for them, and now Orianna has to TP away. And it's going to be the soul for Elysium Terra, along with more than likely a double inhibitor by OP Ivy and Zooey.
Zooey, such a monster in this. He's up 3k gold. His static shiv has done 5k damage. He's doing work on this LeBlanc.
Yeah, so that's gonna be 2 inhibitors and the Ocean Soul over to Elysium Terra, and they're up 10k. I don't know if FFC bought themselves enough time to really pull this game back.
Yeah. I don't know the big check marks for the Senna, but
I mean, she's at it. 100 souls is one of the big check marks. That's like that's like optimal, and 3 items. She's not quite at the 3 items yet, but she's about as strong as she's gonna get.
And it does look like Baron is about to expire, so it's gonna be a little bit hard for the side of ET to really break down this top lane. So I think that FFC has some time, but once this Baron spawns in 3 minutes, that's going to be the timer that they have to do something here. Because once they get that Baron, they're going to look to break down the top and get the triple inhibitors with those double super minions in each lane, and that's going to be where FFC really struggle.
Yeah, 100% agree there.
Right now, it's actually pretty good that these super minions are coming in, because next winter and Zerathai can pick up these waves, and they have really good wave clear. So they're really just raking in the gold right now.
Yeah, OP Ivy's looking for Mad Chef. Just Relish is here to protect them, though. So they're really just trying to, OP Ivy trying to push them off to secure that this last outer tower that FFC has. Alright, so FFC has all 5 members in the top side. The super minions are at their base, so they're on a timer here. Zooey is trying to put pressure in the mid lane. They do get the knockback onto Just Relish. Just Relish could be in danger. The damage was insane there. That's going to be the 1 kill picked up for Zooey. The Temper Fate goes out, connects onto just Malphite. Malphite doesn't get knocked back. A little bit of a mistiming there by Frey Little Feet. And this should be the 3rd inhibitor falling. It's a 4v5, and I don't think they can contest without Just Relish's protection.
They don't even need the Baron. Crazy. Yeah, this LeBlanc is just jumping over the walls and doing half of their HP with an auto attack and 2 Qs. It's crazy.
So that's going to be all of the inhibitors down. Just Coach Ray pops the Paranoia. He jumps onto Siggy there to try to push them away, but it's not going to be enough. That's going to be 1 kill picked up, 2 kills picked up for Elysium Terra. They're looking to end the game. They're looking to make sure that FFZ knows their place, and that will be game 1 going over to Elysium Terra.
Yeah, FFZ made a really good effort there. They were fighting back. They were doing good, but it was just so hard. They had such a big lead in that mid lane, and they played it really well. A really methodical game, taking the Dragon Soul and breaking down FFZ's base. A really clean game from ET. Yeah,
100%. All right. Well, we're going to send it off to a break while we prepare things for game number 2. So we will be back in a few minutes and let's see if FFC can manage to pull something back. So don't go anywhere. All right, we are in the draft for game number 2 between FFZ and Elysium Terra. I am joined by I'm joined by Vimstat. And I mean, it was a pretty dominant performance there by Elysium Terra. I felt like FFZ had some rays of hope here and there, but it really got out of control really fast. So what do you want to see FFZ do different to try to take a win off of Elysium Terra?
I mean, I think the LeBlanc ban, well deserved by Zooey. He was just so oppressive on that champion. I think that's a really good ban, so that's a good start for FFZ. But I do think that they need to look to switch up the bot lane. Maybe put Zerathai on some of those comfort picks like Ziggs or Seraphine. I think Ziggs can be such an impressive pick to get some priority for Coach Ray.
Yeah, but if they do that, it's going to force Next Winter or Mad Chef onto an AD heavy pick. And I don't know, I don't necessarily know their champion pools too well. So it's going to be really, they can only do it if their players can adapt.
Right.
But we are going to see FFZ banning Briar, LeBlanc, and Talia. Two of those bans were in the game, or were in game 1. So a little bit of some respect being put down on them. And Elysium Terra going to ban Jarvan, Vayne, and Orianna, taking away Next Winter's Orianna because they don't have the LeBlanc match.
Yep.
And we're going to have to see what FFC decides to answer with for their first pick. Come on, FFC. All right, and it's going to be, looks like it's going to be another Senna. I don't think the Senna did what they needed it to do game 1. I don't know how I feel about that.
I think that it really does seem like ET came in with a plan to beat down the Senna, because I'm pretty sure Zerathai's been practicing this quite a bit with Just Relish. And so I think ET is just okay letting it through, and they have the answer for it. I expect to just see them pick Sivir again with the roaming support.
Yeah, it's definitely a lot of potential there. ET going to get the Graves, at least covered early on. Graves has a lot of pressure, especially in that mid to early game. He's pretty efficient at just curb stomping junglers. So they're going to try to get free little feet again on that advantage. But this time, Siggy going to take out pull out the Varus. Varus pretty good at knocking down tanks. The only issue is, though, if they do get the Tahm Kench Senna again, Varus can only ult the Tahm Kench.
I'm curious to see if he does the AP build, because if they do go like tanky characters like Tahm Kench and Malphite again, Varus can just one-shot them.
Yeah.
He used to play Varus AP last season a lot.
Yeah, that was before he got massively nerfed, but AP Varus still does work. It's just a little bit less effective. I think at full build, it used to be like 80% max HP damage with 3 stacks, and now I think it's like maximum like 50%. But that's also a full build Varus, so it got hurt a lot more in that early game.
Yep.
But also, on top of that, on-hit Varus got buffed, so we could still see something like a Bork Rageblade Rush on the Varus, and it's still going to be able to shred Tahm Kench because Tahm Kench is such a heavy HP stacker. And they are going to go for the Malphite again. So FFZ really just drafting the same as that comp as they drafted last game.
They're going for the salty run back here. But it does look like ET is switching up their draft quite a bit, so
yeah,
we could see a different look. I think that FFZ did a really good job with this comp last game, but Orianna was a big part of that, so I wonder what they're going to pick up in the mid lane.
Yeah.
What do you think they're going to pick?
For the side of FFZ, honestly, like, I don't even know. It would have to be something. It would just have to be a strong control mage. I wouldn't be mad to see like an Azir, someone who can really keep the fights in their favor, push away enemies that get on top of them. But again, I don't really know Next Winter's capabilities on what he knows how to play. But I think Azir would be best case scenario for the side of FFZ. Something to take note here: they did run the Bard back into the Tahm Kench Senna. However, Varus is a lot more susceptible to dives and just being all in by the TK. He doesn't have the protection of the spell shield like Sivir does. So it could be a little bit harder for Siggy to kind of stay safe in this lane.
Yeah, and he doesn't have as good of wave clear, if I'm not mistaken, just because he has to use his abilities to
100%.
clear that wave, and those are pretty long cooldowns early in the game, so he wouldn't be able to fight back if they did dive him.
Yeah,
after clearing the
100%.
wave.
It's going to be a lot tougher for the Varus in the solo lane, but ET's going to lock in the Sylas. Honestly, a great pickup there. He can get access to the Tom Kinch ult to save his team. He has access to the Malphite ult, and Sylas is just relatively pretty oppressive in general. And Zooey, if he plays anything like he did last game, he has the skills to dominate this lane.
Do you know if Sylas, when he takes away Tom Kench's ult, can he eat enemy champions, or
yes,
is there some sort of like stacking that he has to do on the enemy champions in order to
I
beat
don't
them?
think Sylas needs to stack. I could be
That's
wrong.
pretty OP.
But yeah, I could be wrong. And if I am, then it will give him a temporary passive of TK where he has to hit an opponent 3 times before he can do it. But we do have FFC locking in the Azir, like I was saying. It's a strong control mage, and honestly, I think it's a little bit better than Orianna if your entire comp is reviving on keeping those players away from your team.
Yep.
And also, that's going to be extremely hard for Sylas in the mid lane. Azir soldiers give him quite a bit of range, and unless Sylas can get on top of him, which he's basically always going to need Flash to do, unless next winter massively missteps, it's going to be really hard to get control of that lane. And FFC is going to round out their comp with the Wukong. So, again, a super heavy team fight-oriented comp here. A lot of wombo combo, and we're going to have to see if they can survive the laning phase once again.
Yeah.
It's a Sylas top lane. They got baited.
Could it be Sylas jungle with Graves? in the lane?
No, for sure that is Sylas top lane into the Malphite because he has a lot of sustain. It gives him quick access to that ultimate, and it's going to be a Twisted Fate in the mid for a lot of roaming potential. It just got real.
What would Sylas build top lane? Does he still go like
100%.
like Everfrost?
100%. He still goes AP. Yeah. Like without a doubt
Yeah,
in my mind, he's going AP.
I have seen Conquer Divine Sunder Sylas, and it's actually pretty strong because his passive gives him that
That AD,
extra.
yeah, the
That gives
speed.
him AD scaling and attack speed. So
I would be surprised to see that. I mean, I want to see the full AP Sylas here because of the Malphite ult, because of the Tom Kinch ult, because of the Azir ult. It's just so much great access points here, and he can get whatever he wants. So it's going to be rough. What's his name? If Sylas can get control of this top lane, Malphite is not going to be doing a lot, and Sylas can just use his ult better.
yeah, and Sylas has so many good ults to take this game. It's like there's not really a bad ult for him.
Yeah, I would say that the worst ult is probably the Senna ult. I don't think it has too much AP scaling, so it's probably... But the shield is still nice for his team. But, I mean, Tom Kinch ult, great single target damage. Malphite ult, great team fight starting damage. Azir ult, if his team is in a rough spot, he can push people away. Wukong ult kind of does the same thing as Azir and Malphite. He can use it to push people away or really start up fights. It's a great pickup there, and they really... I think, honestly... The Azir got a little bit baited there because Azir does pretty well into Sylas in the laning phase, but it's not the same for Twisted Fate, especially when you have a champion like Graves and Bard who are really good at collapsing on stun targets. So it's going to be there's going to be a lot of action revolving around this mid lane, I think.
Yep. And if we see OP Ivy getting heavy prio up in the top lane again here, it's going to be pretty oppressive because this Sylas can be a monster roaming into lanes and really finding picks and ganking people off guard. So it will be interesting. Yeah, the Bard and the Sylas just moving around the map with Twisted Fate, they're going to be everywhere at all times.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of roaming plays by the Bard, by the Twisted Fate, like you were saying. And I don't really know how FFC matches that. Like, they're just have to make sure that they stay alive, and if they don't, we're going to see a a potential repeat of what happened in game number 1, where once they started winning lane and they started breaking open the map, ET just took over quick and yeah, just quick.
Yeah. For FFZ, I just want to see them playing through this bot lane. Like, that's their best chance. Varus is going to be pretty susceptible to being dived. And getting that gold onto the Senna is going to be really important for the side of FFZ. Because if Senna does get a big lead, there's not very many champions on the side of ET that could really deal with her going up to trade with them. If the Twisted Fate gets the rapid fire cannon, he will be able to stun her though, so that will be pretty rough.
Yeah, but you do have the Tompkins safety that he does provide there, so it's going to be kind of hard for Twisted Fate to look for those initial picks. They're going to have to try to bait out this Tompkins ulti, but luckily, yellow card, not on a very long cooldown.
Yeah.
So they're going to have a lot of opportunities here to make plays.
Yep.
All right.
And Alley-oop was a monster on the Bard last game. I'm excited to see this Bard again.
Yeah. All right. Well, we are going to send it off to a break while we load into the Rift for game number 2 between FFZ and Elysium Terra. So don't go anywhere and get ready for the fight of your life. I don't know. All right. right, hello, hello, hello. We are loaded into the rift for game number 2 between FFZ and Elysium Terra. Vimstat, I'll just share my screen so you can just watch to that.
Okay.
All right.
Sorry.
Yeah, it's
Thank
all
you.
good. It's all good. All right, we're going to start this up. But we do have some interesting stuff here. If FFZ doesn't fall behind like they did in game number 1, it's going to be, I think, a lot harder for Elysium Terra to really tear open this game, just because their champions are so reliant on pick, and they have the Tahm Kench for that safety, and they have next winter on its year to push people away. So it's going to be a lot harder. Can you see my stream, by the way?
I can, yeah.
Okay. So yeah, it's going to be a little bit of a different game, I think, for this one.
Yep. 100%. I think that I think Coach Ray is gonna get bullied by this Graves because Wukong in the jungle, he doesn't have the best clear in the game, and he doesn't have the best early skirmishing in comparison to Graves, so I'm expecting to see Furry Little Feet to really be abusing that and be in his jungle at all times, especially considering he's gonna have I expect ET to have quite a bit of prio in most of their lanes. So
yeah, there's definitely a lot of potential here for ET. And I mean, Graves also one of those champions, like Wukong, gets a lot of armor stacked on pretty fast. So
Yep.
it's not really like Wukong's going to be able to punish Very Little Feet when he does go for these trades. And I think that the Graves damage flat, when it comes to armor versus armor, is a little bit higher.
Yep.
All right, Mad Chef trying to put some moves onto OP Ivy. He could be in danger, but both top laners can be dropped super low already. 2 minutes in. All right. So, how do you expect that top lane matchup to go? By the way, like, when does Silas start winning? I guess is the real question.
I think Silas is just such a strong champion at all stages of the game.
Ooh, a flash forward by Alley Oops there.
So strong.
Okay, sorry. I thought more was gonna happen there, but it did not.
Yeah, I just think Silas is so strong. The Kingslayer is such a good ability, especially early in the game, because yeah, it's only like 70 to 90 healing, but that is such a big difference in that early game. So yeah. I expect Silas to win this lane 100%.
Right. And especially once they get those level 6 power mics, like, yeah, Mad Chef will have his ultimate, but Ophi Ivy also will have Mad Chef's ultimate, and AP Malphite has been known to do a lot more than just tank Malphite.
Yeah. Yeah, I was actually
curious
to see.
Oh, a flash forward by their OP Ivy getting the solo kill with the Flash E combo.
Nice. Yeah, there it is. Silas is such a strong champion. Early game, late game, he's just such a monster.
Yeah, and now Siggy and Alley Oops looking for some early fights here. The Ignite gets dropped down onto Just Relish. Siggy channels the Q but misses. All right, well, Silas also first spot Lucidity Boots. So he's going to be really spamming those Kingslayers as much as possible. Yeah. He's already looking for more trades on the Mad Chef. Also, something that Malphite doesn't really like to do is he's going to have to stack MR early, and it's not going to be great. And then Mad Chef's taking a rough trade, but OP Ivy also on the back end getting brought down to the same amount of HP. And now Just Relish and Zerathai could be in trouble. They don't see Furry Little Feet coming here. And they're really overextended. The stun onto Just Relish gets connected, and Alley Oops is going to get rooted by Senna, and the Abyssal Dive goes forward to CC just Furry Little Feet, and that's going to be them getting out for the heal being popped.
Is he running lethal tempo on Malphite?
Yes, he is. Oh, God. Oh, Abyssal Dive forward. It's going to get Furry Little Feet's flash. Great root there by Zerathai. But yes, that is a lethal tempo, a lethal tempo Malphite. I think he's expecting. I mean, it makes sense in a way. I've seen it happen. Typically, you can do Halo Blades as the standard, but if you're planning to auto attack Silas a lot, which is going to happen, it's going to give you some form of edge in the trades, especially when OP Ivy gets pretty low here. But a flash forward by Just Flush is going to get Siggy's flash as well, so the Summoner spell trade. And now all summoners are burned for Elysium Terra, and Zerathai still has his flash, so it's going to be a lot, really dangerous for Siggy.
I don't think I've seen Lethal Tempo before on Malphite. I just have a feeling that's not going to scale very well. I feel like maybe something like Conquer would be better in that situation, but I could be wrong.
All right, OP Ivy is going in. He has his ultimate before Mad Chef, so it could get really dangerous here. And I would not be surprised to see OP Ivy look for an all-in before Mad Chef hits 6.
Yep.
Also, something to keep track of is the TF ultimate is online. It's just a lot like the Shin ult. You gotta basically ping immediately as soon as he goes MIA.
Do you mind if we sync up really quick? Are you at 6:10, 11?
I'm at 6:23.
Okay.
Let me stop the stream. Sorry, everyone. We did have a little bit of a delayed load in for Vimstat.
Okay. I'm at 6:26.
6:23. I got a 6:26.
Okay.
All right. All right. Ready?
Yep.
3, 2, 1. 27, 28, 29.
Thanks.
All
Sorry.
right. All right. We're back in it. We're back ready to go.
Yeah, OP Ivy is already level 7. He's so far ahead up in this top lane.
Coach Ray is here to prevent a dive. If OP Ivy looked there, it would have been detrimental.
Yep. Yeah, he's already up almost 1,000 gold at 7 minutes into the game. That's really crazy. I don't think I've seen something like that.
Yeah, he is the gold lead. He is the gold lead for Elysium Terra right now.
Yeah, it's not necessarily bad because we really just want to see this Senna and this Azir getting some gold into their pockets for FFC. So FFC is gonna have a really strong late game here.
Yeah,
Senna.
It's a lot more stable for both of the teams.
Yep. Yeah, Senna, Tom, Kench already have a 300 gold lead collectively, so they're doing good in the spot lane. And it's getting to the point in the game where they can start diving this.
Next Winter walks right into Frey Little Feet with the Twisted Fate ulti dropping down behind him. He's going to try to get away, but it's not going to be enough. That's going to be Frey Little Feet picking up a kill with his ultimate. And now Coach Ray's going to have to walk away, and this should open up the Dragon for Elysium Terra. Unless Siggy gets caught out here, the Abyssal Dive goes forward. He misses the ultimate, and now Siggy's in trouble. Just Relish doesn't have the Devour, but I don't think Siggy's going to get away, and that's going to be a kill picked up there by Zerathai.
Very important kill in the bot lane there that prevents the Dragon and gets gold on the Senna.
Oh, Frey Little Feet, you're greeting for that ward, but Just Relish took the portal in, and now he's going to get caught under the tower. He has to drop his shield with Zerathai's ultimate. He does have Devour now. Bard gets devoured, and that's going to be Bard getting killed there. A great pickup there. That was insane that even worked out, and now the Abyssal Dive's going to go forward, but misses Frey Little Feet. But what just happened there?
He's unkillable. He's unkillable. That was really good. That was a very good series of events for FFC. Them going even in gold here is really, really good for them. Silas is going to be a problem, but if Senna can get ahead, she can just like poke that Silas down, and there's not much he can do about it.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of struggle here. But Elysium Terra is still going to get this first Dragon unless Wukong tries to steal. They do have the mid laner priority here. Next Winter is trying to walk into the bush. He doesn't get the soldier in. And now Coach Ray is here. They spotted him, so he's going to look for the steal here. He doesn't have a ward into the pit, though. They need to pull this Dragon out, I feel like. They're not going to do it, but it's still going to get secured there. And now
So
Coach Ray
close.
almost in danger, but can just jump over the wall.
Yeah, that was a good look for FFC. That would have been a big steal for them.
Yeah, we do have an Abyssal Dive forward here by Just Relish. Just Relish does get rooted by Siggy, but I don't think it's going to be enough. He's so hard to kill right now. Siggy doesn't have any way to deal with the HP, and that's going to be Siggy dying to Just Relish.
Wow. Yeah, the Senna Tom Kench is really working out for them this game. Already got a Sunfire on the Tom Kench, which really stabilizes this lane. Bard's going to have to stay down here because I don't think that Siggy can survive anything now. They could just dive him nonstop.
100%. We do have very little feet going on to Next Winter. Next Winter gets chunked down to half, and now Coach Ray's trying to look. He does pop the ultimate, but the Zir kicks very little feet away, and now OP Ivy's coming with the Malphite ult. He's ready. The sun gets on to Next Winter, and that's going to be a kill picked up for Zooey.
And that's priority on the Rift Herald here.
Uh-oh. And we see something here. Just Relish is going to tank tower there. But nothing crazy. The Malphite ult gets popped onto Mad Chef by OP Ivy, and now Mad Chef's going to get brought super low. That's going to force him out of that lane.
Yeah, I think it's a little interesting to see the Bramble Vest coming out from the Malphite.
I mean,
it does help against the Kingslayer.
Yeah, I was about to say, OP Ivy is auto not. Siggy walking right into that Abyssal Dive. The Bard Tempered Fate misses, and now Siggy is in trouble. Does he get devoured? He does. A flash forward by Just Relish to secure that kill. And FFC's bot lane is on fire right now. Can they get the double? But, oh, Alley Oops lives with about 10 HP.
Yeah, Zerathai, they're going to be a problem. The
Yeah.
Senna and Tom Kench are going to be a huge problem. They're about to get their third plate. They have so much gold.
Yeah, let's take a look at the gold right now. I mean, there is an 8,000 gold lead on the Senna against the Varus alone. I mean, collectively, they're up about 2,000, 3,000 gold.
Yeah,
And
3,000 gold.
But the sad thing is the gold is still even. Despite them getting these massive leads in the bot, ET's rest of the team is just on top of everything.
Yeah, the OP Ivy has a 1.2k gold lead. The Graves has almost 1,000 gold lead just because this Wukong hasn't been able to be a part of any of these plays yet, and he's having a hard time keeping up with the farm because his champion is just not as good in the current state of the game. I do think Wukong has better scaling than Graves, so it's gonna be once he gets that Divine Sunder rocking and rolling, he's gonna be really strong in these fights.
Yeah, Just Relish gonna get stunned up here. Siggy still doesn't have the Blade of the Rune King built completed quite yet, and now we have a little bit of a scuffle happening on the top side. But yeah, Siggy is gonna struggle a lot at killing Just Relish and Zerathai until he gets Rage Blade and Blade of the Rune King at this point. Like, he needs that max HP damage, but we do have a potential 4-man. But the what? Ooh. What? What is that bar tunnel? It is tragic. How does that even happen?
That is very unfortunate for ET. That is very unfortunate. I don't think they can kill Zerathai because he does have heal.
I mean, honestly, if that tunnel was correct, I don't think Just Relish and Zerathai get out of that. One of them would be dead there. Right. But now, Frey Little Feet is going to look for something onto Next Winter. Zooey is looking for the yellow card, flashes forward, gets the stun card out, and it just kind of looked like a little bit of a miscommunication there.
Yeah.
They definitely...
Yeah, Graves didn't have his
okay, Frey Little Feet. But now Coach Ray's here to try to turn something else. Frey Little Feet gets dropped super low. The yellow card comes out to stun him, and Coach Ray isn't going to be able to complete this kill. He gets smoke screened, and that is going to be a kill with Frey Little Feet dodging that Senna ult.
Yeah, very crucial there. The Graves had his mythic item there, so he was dealing out so much more damage than the Wukong.
Yeah, 100%. And that's going to be the first tower of the game picked up by Elysium Terra, but I believe FFC is going to be able to pick up a tower in response in the bot lane.
Yeah,
And
Senna
that's gonna
already
be,
has.
oh, Just Relish could be in danger. He's tanking the tower. He got rooted. The tower is still alive, and that could be a kill picked up. That is going to be TF picking up one of the kills, and Next Winter is trying to turn something around while Zooey is looking for Zerathai. He's hunting. He pulls the yellow card, but Next Winter's in danger. He's trapped there alone. Yellow card connects, and that is going to be a double kill for Zooey. Oh, Zooey popped the ultimate. Okay.
That was very unfortunate for FFZ, but Zerathai's cooking. He's got 64 souls right now, so he's almost to that 100 soul point already.
It's definitely a much better look for them this game.
Yep.
And also, Twisted Fate, Leandri's Anguish, and Lich Bane completed. He is going to be hurting if Just Relish isn't there to save the day.
Yeah, that's I did not notice that. I don't know how, but the TF has a 3k gold lead up on this Azir. That is insane.
Oh, Just Relish tried to look but didn't get it. And this should be the dragon for Elysium Terra. Sorry, what were you saying?
Every time I have a TF in my solo queue games, they never do damage, but this guy...
They're the worst players ever, dude.
He's looking so good.
Twisted Fate's and solo queue is so bad. I feel like that champion is only designed for competitive. And, I mean, you just looked at the damage right there. Coach Ray almost died to a yellow card Q from Twisted Fate. Like, that is disgusting. And now Frayed Little Feet going a little bit too far, but is able to dash away from Just Relish.
Yeah, he's dealing out big damage on this TF. It's going to be a problem because he can one-shot that Senna.
Yeah, he could one-shot the Senna before the Devourer even comes in at this point. It's hard.
Yeah, especially if he gets that rapid fire cannon. He's just from half a screen away. Zerathai is going to disappear.
Yeah, now Zooey is going to get spotted out by this ward. Just Relish is here. He's going to get the tongue lash out, and Zerathai is going to have to get devoured by Just Relish to get away from this. So it's going to be an ult for nothing. So that's a pretty big cooldown. Just Relish flashes forward, but the Zerathai gets hit by the ultimate from Varus, and Zerathai is going to be brought super low, and now Just Relish could be out of position. He could be in danger. They're looking for a flash forward by Aliyoops. Aliyoops gets the stun, and that's going to be a kill, but a great Emperor's Revive to shove him right into that tower. So that's going to be a 2 for 2.
Yeah. That's really crucial for the Azir to get some gold there. That brought him from 3k down, almost 4k down, to just over 2k down. So he got a lot of gold there.
Yeah, was that a shutdown he picked up on Graves?
Yep.
Okay.
He got a 350 gold shutdown on him.
Yeah, but that is going to be a tower picked up for Zooey, so Zooey's going to continue to expand this gold lead despite him getting the shutdown. And honestly, let's see. Zooey's back in with 2,000 gold. Let's see if he goes rapid fire cannon for the third item.
Yeah, this is going to be a very quick 3-item.
Nope, he's going right for death cap. That is for sure going to be a death cap.
Yep.
I've seen this build before. It nukes. It's going to be a death cap or a shadow flame, but I don't think you need shadow flame this game. I think you just are looking for a pure one shot.
Yeah, Zooey is playing so well this series. He's just taking over both of these games on builds and champions that I don't see it work that much. But Zooey's making LeBlanc and Twisted Fate. He's making these builds.
Coach Ray gonna get caught out here by Aliyoops with the stun, and that's gonna be a kill picked up for Frayed Little Feet. And now Next Winter could be in danger. He does get the blast cone over, but the portal is here to chase, and that is gonna be just a great kill there. Picked up Aliyoops, really playing well with his jungler. His roaming is insane, to say the least. And now the Herald's going to get started up. All 5 members are here. Zooey is there. He could get a flank here onto Zerathai. The Abyssal Dive goes forward and knocks up Ziggy, and that's going to be a kill picked up for FFZ. But now, I mean, Zerathai is in danger. He gets nuked by the Zooey's damage. It's just miserable, and the Malphite misses the ult. Unlike the what is his name? Silas. Oh my god, I'm sorry. And now it's just going to be a chase down here, and that is going to be a 3 for 1. Potentially more. Doesn't look like it. So 3 for 1 and Herald in favor of Elysium Terra.
Yeah, Baron's going to be up here in a minute, and I think they can just do it off of spawn. They're up 6k, so I think it'd be pretty easy for them. Once they get this back timer, they could look to drop this Rift Herald and just take Baron off the spawn.
Yeah, and that was pretty rough there for Elysium, or for FFC there. The Malphite ulti whiffing completely, and then OP Ivy just making it look easy, making sure that they CC next winter and make sure that next winter can't carry that fight.
And did you see the interesting interaction of Bard's ult with the Tahm Kench ulti? He ulted him, but Tahm Kench ate Xerathi during that animation, and Xerathi just popped out at the end of Bard's ult. So
yeah,
it really just negated it.
Yeah, he couldn't really get into any form of safety. And now Furry Little Feet gonna show Coach Ray who's boss. This is Furry Little Feet's jungle, and he's just gonna chase down Coach Ray. Coach Ray gonna get brought down super low. And that is honestly, Coach Ray has to reset here if he wants to get back in for the dragon.
Greaves is doing so much damage. He's an entire item up.
I mean, look at it, man. Zui has the death cap now. He is going to absolutely destroy people, but OP Ivy misses the Emperor Divide onto Mad Chef, but I don't think he cares. He has the damage, he has the healing, and now Mad Chef is just going to have to run away. But Mad Chef does have Unstoppable Force at worst case scenario, and they're going to walk right into Very Little Feet, and Just Rush is going to be dropped super low. The Temper Fate misses. That's going to be them walking around, but here comes the Zui for the damage, and that's going to pull Next Winter out of that fight, and that should be the dragon for Elysium Terra.
Yeah, Zui's his W, if he uses his blue card, is doing 800 damage, and then he's also going to get about 150 damage from this Lich Bane. So he's just, or 300 damage from the Lich Bane. So his W has the potential to do 1100 damage with a blue card.
Yeah,
it's absolutely insane.
I don't even know if we're going to see the rapid fire cannon from the Twisted Fate. He might just go for full AP, full one-shot. I wouldn't be surprised at this point. He is everywhere on this map. He is tearing up the game along with very little
Shadow
feet.
Flame would, a Shadow Flame would really bring this build together. He would be doing so much damage.
I cannot believe OPIV hasn't gotten this tower yet. It's been, I swear they've only been top except for like one team fight.
Might be tactical.
All right, they're gonna spot Coach right here. OP Ivy knows that in between tier he's gonna take the Wukong ultimate, and then he's just gonna dash away with his E. And that's gonna be a tower in the bot side. Tier 2 going down to the Graves and Twisted Fate, and Azir honestly cannot stop this. Like if he gets yellow carded at all, he's just dead, and that's gonna force FFZ to back completely. But that's gonna be the tower falling. And a potential inhibitor if this Herald can get the charge off. Let's see what they look for. Oh, but Zui's going to overstep, get ulted by Mad Chef, followed up by Coach Ray, and that's going to be Zui dropping a shutdown to Mad Chef. Honestly, though, not the greatest person to have that 1,000 gold.
No.
But, and how Frey Little Feet's just going to kite him. He almost kills Mad Chef. I don't even think FFC can 3v1 him at this point. Unless he walks into all those Azir soldiers. All right, and while that is happening, we do have a fight in the top side. Just Relish and Alley Oops is going to take the portal over, and OP Ivy is going to jump right over, gets the stun onto Just Relish, and Just Relish is going to have to flash out. And now Siggy could be in danger. He flashes away. The Abyssal Dive goes forward. He doesn't hit anyone, and that's going to be Just Relish's death sentence. I don't know why you thought that was a good idea, buddy.
Yeah, the Kingslayer is just healing him so much. Silas is hard to play against because you don't know when to expect when he's going to die. The Kingslayer just keeps him alive for so long.
Alright, and now next winter, going to have to dash away from Frey Little Feet. Frey Little Feet is a force to be reckoned with, just like Zui. And it's going to be hard to take some of these fights. They have great split push, and they have great pick potential. But Coach Ray is going to spot Alley Oops with Mad Chef, and now Alley Oops is going to have to flash away to try to survive. Coach Ray flashes the follow, and that's going to be a kill picked up by Xerathi, but they might have overextended here. Zui, Siggy, and OP Ivy are here to cut them off. This could be dangerous for that team. Zui ulted over to Coach Ray, and that's going to be a kill picked up on Coach Ray, and that could be a potential Baron angle for Elysium Terra.
Yep, OP Ivy has this Malphite ult.
Yeah, OP Ivy's looking for more. He dashes to Mad Chef, and now he's just going to fight him mano a mano. Xerathi might try to come to assist, but I don't think Xerathi can survive this. OP Ivy is just absolutely whopping Mad Chef right now. The Kingslayer's healing is insane. A flash forward by Zooey for a blue card, almost one-shot Zerathai. And that's going to be Mad Chef brought down to 1 HP, no kill picked up. That will be the Baron for Elysium Terra.
Yeah, he bought so much space and time for this Baron, so really good stuff from OP Ivy there. Yeah, now ET, they're just gonna look to break down some of these turrets. They finally got that top tower, and they're just gonna look to get these inhibitors, the 3 inhibitors like they did last game, and put Zerathai in a very oppressive situation.
OP Ivy trying to take that red away, but he doesn't get it. He might have overextended here. This could be dangerous. The Temper Fate goes out to stun the Azir, and that's going to keep OP Ivy alive. And now Zooey and Siggy are on their way, but OP Ivy is low. He does have Kingslayer healing, though, to keep him alive. And this could be a potential 5v5 for this Dragon Soul that's spawning in 1 minute. Coach Ray is going to have to get ulted by Just Relish. He almost just died to Zooey's yellow card.
That's crazy. And yellow card does the least damage of the 3.
Yeah, Just Relish splashes forward, trying to catch Coach Ray out, but he doesn't commit to the kill. And now Trey Little Feet could be in danger, but he does get away. OP Ivy with the Kingslayer, massive amounts of healing. And now he has Emperor Divide. It doesn't connect, though, and that's going to be the ace. And that could be the game, potentially, for Elysium Terra. They have the push. Zooey is going to do so much tower damage to this tower. I just watch.
Zooey's red card legit just like completely killed Zerathai in that fight.
1,400 damage, and I think this is the game. They have the ability to end this. Zooey is going to do so much damage, and they still have 10 seconds on the timers. Look at that, half the tower's HP. That is
Zooey's
disgusting. Oh my god.
3,300 damage just to champions with this Lich Bane. So crazy.
Yeah, and that is going to be the game, and that's going to be the series for Elysium Terra. I mean, great play by them. They just kept everything in their control at all times. They did struggle a little bit in game 2, but they came back strong and they came back ready.
Yep.
All right. Well, who is your MVP?
I'm gonna have to say Zooey. Zooey just completely took over both of these games, and like he was a force to be reckoned with. There's nothing Zerathai's team could do against Zooey. Yeah. He was so oppressive.
I do agree. Zooey was pretty strong. I'll drag him in for a quick interview. I am on a little bit of a time crunch today, so we'll pull him in for like a question or two. All right, Zooey, hello. Congratulations on your win against FFZ. You are the MVP for this series. How did it feel? How did you guys expect this?
It was a pretty good series. I mean, like, they played Senna Kench, and we've never played against Senna Kench, so we didn't really know how to deal with it. So
yeah,
they kind of gave a hard time, as you can tell. But
yeah, there was a few times where we were a little bit worried, especially in game number 2. Senna Kench was absolutely roughing up Siggy and Alley-oops in the bot lane. It was looking dire, but you managed to turn it around with some great Twisted Fate play. And honestly, in game number 1, your LeBlanc, pure carry. I thought this active build was nerfed.
Yeah. I mean, it is. Like, it's not good to build, like, on its own. It's the only way that I've played LeBlanc, though, because I started picking it up when Bobkin, like, pioneered it, and it just feels so bad to play LeBlanc without attack speed now, so I just build Shiv even though it sucks.
Yeah, but, I mean, you made it work, so, I mean, congrats on that. Yeah. Vimsat, do you have any questions for Phoenix? Okay. Or OP, or sorry, Zooey.
I just have a question on your Twisted Fate play. What made you decide to go the straight AP build? Was it just your massive gold advantage, or were you that from the beginning? With
I just think the utility TF build is dead because they giga buffed all of his AP ratios. So like you just kind of want to build like raw AP. Like all the Twisted Fate players are building like Ludens, Leandries. I played a game of TF earlier in the season, and I went Rocket Belt just for like the memes. But
you made it look really
like
strong.
You just build raw AP. Yeah.
100%. All right. Well, do you have any shout outs that you want to give? Anyone on your team you want to shout out, or anyone that was watching?
Shout out to my jungler for Little Feet. We played the Lovers duo in game 2, Twisted Fate Graves. You know how it is. Best mid jungle. So we just had to, show the love. But shout out to Elysium. I know they're watching. Love you guys.
All right. Well, thank you for joining us, and congratulations on your win. And thank you, Vimstat, for joining me on the final match of the week. We are going to end the stream here. Thank you for all the support, everyone, that you give to Black Twitch League. Next week, week 6, 1 week away from our final week, we will have some bangers. I don't have the schedule up right now, so I can't tell people what's going to happen, but it's going to be the same time as always, 6 p.m. and 9 p.m. Saturday and Sunday. So we will see you guys there, and thank you for participating on the stream with us.